life. Heel, heel, full heel power for life. Boom! We are back, Full Heel Podcast. I am your host, Rafael Chairez, and this is the episode for the Raw after WrestleMania. Probably one of the most viewed Raws there is, just because it's right after, WWE's biggest extravaganza, their biggest showcase. So it's a little late, but better late than never. This is the Friday after the Monday after WrestleMania, so just dropping by to give you guys my thoughts. So leave any questions in the group. Hit me up on Twitter if you have any ideas regarding how my thinking and storyline go. If you have any ideas on matchups, shit like that. Not ideas for the show. It's my show, bitches. But yeah. So the Raw after WrestleMania. This one did not disappoint. So the Raw after WrestleMania is a really popular one because over the past couple of years since NXT's been around, so it hasn't been a couple of years, it's been more like 5-6 years, that they'll have WrestleMania and they'll have an NXT show before that, which is the equivalent of NXT's WrestleMania. They kind of treat it as a separate brand if you guys don't watch NXT. So NXT TakeOver is kind of just like a pay-per-view that they attach to the big show, which would be like a Backlash or like a WrestleMania, a SummerSlam. Their marquee shows, the NXT people, or the NXT personnel talent will go as well, and they'll have their show Saturday, and then the main roster has a show Sunday. So on Monday we get the call-ups, and the call-ups are usually from NXT, and we might see some random guys that have been in the company before, or some new guys that we haven't seen before. But if we've never seen them before, they kind of shove them to NXT just in order to get a test market for them, I'm guessing, to see how popular they are and to see if the fans receive them any well, to see if they should be thrown on the main roster. So that's where we're at. This is the Raw after the marquee show. And if you guys haven't checked that out, go ahead and check out my review on NXT TakeOver and WrestleMania 34, which I thoroughly enjoyed both shows. I don't know if I had to choose one over the other, I probably enjoyed NXT more, NXT TakeOver New Orleans more, because shorter show, and I think it had the better matches. I know it had the better matches. So Raw was this Monday, April 10th. Stephanie comes out, and she comes out apologizing to Ronda Rousey, kind of trying to get on her good side, trying to play up the, haha, you beat me, but now let me get on your good side and we'll be friends and we'll go to the top and blah, blah, blah this and blah, blah, blah that. And Ronda hits her with the armbar, and Ronda, kind of not letting herself get manipulated by the boss. But I'm still not sure how they're going to play Ronda off. I don't know if they're going to keep playing her off as the babyface, where she's going to feud with the Authority, and how long is that going to last before they have to abandon that angle and let Ronda go onto the main roster. And if she's going to come off as a babyface, to me it's coming off a little bit awkward. Like, she comes out smiling all the time, waving at the crowd. I know she gets the pop from the crowd, but if she's going to be that, okay, cool. But we need to establish that. I don't know if it's gonna work. I think she would work better as a heel, in my opinion. I don't know about you guys. Let me know what you guys think. So yeah, she just armbars Stephanie and takes off. Alexa comes out and she's like, "See, that's a real bully right there," you know, because she just kind of armbarred the boss, and the boss was trying to get on her good side. All fake about it, but you know. Alexa comes out still making fun of Nia Jax, and this is the Nia Jax's opportunity to bring out a tag team partner for herself. She announces Ember Moon, so Ember Moon is the call up. If you guys haven't watched NXT and take over New Orleans and are planning on watching it and don't know what has happened, I'm going to spoil it. So Shayna Baszler took on Ember Moon for the NXT Women's title. Usually what happens when the NXT champion holds it for a little bit and then drops it, they're usually getting called up. So usually they'll have a year build up to where half of the year they're getting build up and maybe the other half they have the title. Eventually they drop it at the pay-per-view before the WrestleMania, and then they get the call up the next day. I think it happened with Bobby Roode to SmackDown last year. Asuka as well, but she relinquished it and she was called up. And that's when Ember Moon took over. And so Ember Moon now is on the main roster, and it's a good addition to the main roster, a good addition to the women's roster. And she did debut on Raw, but next week we have the Superstar Shakeup, so we don't actually know where she's gonna wind up. She could stay on Raw, or she might wind up on SmackDown. I don't know. I don't know to the extent of what the shakeup is gonna be. I don't know if the whole roster is gonna be shooken up or just like 10 and 10 or something like that. I don't know. I'm not sure, but we'll see this Monday, and I'll try to get an episode out earlier. I'll try to get them out earlier. Starting, from here on out, I'll try to get them out earlier. Friday's too late, but, better late than never. Ember Moon and Nia Jax take on Alexa Bliss and Nikki James. And Ember Moon and Nia Jax win. Ember Moon hitting her Eclipse off the top rope on, I forget who it was. It must have been Nikki James. So Bliss continues her losing streak. Nia continues her winning streak, even though it was a tag team match. But we'll see how long Nia and what kind of story they build for Nia. I know right now it's just a feud with Alexa Bliss, but we're eventually going to have to get out of that. I like Nia Jax. She's a good character. I like her more as a heel. We'll see how she plays off as a babyface, because right now she's put in the role of being attacked by Alexa Bliss verbally, be it that, but still, So we'll see where that we'll see where that goes. And then we have a camera in the back. It shows up on Kurt Angle, and it's Braun Strowman and his partner, that little kid. I forget what his name. I think it was Nicholas was his name. Braun Strowman says that they relinquished their titles because Nicholas is in 4th grade and he's got school or some shit. So there's going to be some sort of tournament, and I think it's going to be determined at the Royal Rumble, the huge Royal Rumble they're going to have, like the biggest Royal Rumble ever. That's where it's going to be determined. That's where they're going to have the Tag Team Championship match. And if you guys don't know or don't remember, from here on out, it's going to be a co-promotional pay-per-view. So it's going to be Raw and SmackDown matches on both shows. We'll have the Superstar Shakeup this coming Monday. I don't know, leading into Tuesday. I don't think so. I think it'll just be Monday. I don't know. Well, yeah, we'll have Monday's unveils, and then we'll have Tuesday's unveils. Or I don't know how they'll do it this year, but that's how they did it last year. And yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, they relinquish the titles, and there's a tag team tournament. They're gonna have that. That'll be determined at the biggest Royal Rumble. No Way Jose was called up, so that's the second call up of of Raw. We have No Way Jose come out dancing with a conga line of a bunch of people. He smashes a jobber and takes off dancing. That was it. And then we had the club versus the Revival in pretty much an elimination match to see who advances into the tournament. And the Revival advance. I hate seeing these two go at it just because I like the club and I like the Revival, but they're not doing anything progressively with the club and they're not advancing them anyway. They kind of seem to job them out, get them mid card, and then job them out again. They've had them win the titles once, but it wasn't that legit of a run. I'd like to see what they do now, and I want to see if they pair them up with either AJ or Finn eventually, but it doesn't seem like it. They've been teasing it, and they kind of have formed the club, kind of, but you know, they haven't officially done it. Is what I'm trying to say. Seth Rollins, your new Intercontinental Champion, comes out to cut a promo. He's cut off by Finn Balor. And Balor challenges him for the IC title. I think at that same pay-per-view that's coming up. But then The Miz comes out and he says that he didn't lose the titles. Well, he lost the title by himself. That, he came out, walked out by himself. Seth kind of makes fun of him because he alludes to the fact that, you needed help to win and that's why you lost. It's looking like it's going to be a triple threat match at that pay-per-view. Let me get that exact name, or else I'm just going to be referencing it back to that pay-per-view. But let's see. Oh, it's just the Greatest Royal Rumble. That's what it's called. And it's going to be hosted in Saudi Arabia. I think it's a 60-man Royal Rumble. I'm not sure. Because there's been a 40-man, so this is going to have to be bigger than that. So we're going to have a 50 or 61. Yeah, so we're going to have a triple... Well, actually, I don't know if we're going to have a triple threat match. That's what it's looking like, but... So we had Seth interrupted by Finn interrupted by The Miz, and The Miz Taraj. The Miz Taraj wind up attacking Seth and Finn. And then Jeff Hardy pops out. So Jeff Hardy's back from injury and helps out Seth and Finn, which leads to the main event later on with the Miz Taraj taking on Seth, Finn, and Jeff Hardy. So we might have a four-way at the Greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. There's a lot of Royal Rumbles and battle. They're going to have to eliminate those Andre the Giant Battle Royals at WrestleMania. Cut it down a little bit. Eliminate those matches if you're going to have the Greatest Royal Rumble match and then the Royal Rumble back in January. It's a lot of Royal Rumbles, guys. You guys are going to kill the fucking Royal Rumble. Sasha versus Mandy Rose. I think that's her name. I don't know why that sounded wrong to me when I wrote it down. And, yeah, they have a pretty good match. And they have a continuing storyline between Bayley and Sasha where Sasha kind of did Bayley dirty a couple times. Once at the Royal Rumble and once at the first time ever Elimination Chamber. And then they kind of had words, fought backstage. And Bayley threw out Sasha in the first ever women's 20 battle royal or whatever at WrestleMania. She tossed Sasha over. So we had Bayley getting one up on her. Bayley comes out to show her support. Goes to punch Mandy after Mandy hits her, but accidentally hits Sasha. And then, which leads to them getting back into the ring and Mandy Rose getting the roll up on Sasha. So that's the continued feud between Bailey and Sasha. Ultimately, I thought it would have ended at WrestleMania, but it seems to continue. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. They might even get separated. Who knows? At the shakeup. And then Elias Sampson comes out to hold his concert, like he always does. He seems to have been winning the crowd over and over, week by week by week. As a great heel character, he comes out talking shit to the crowd, even though they're cheering him a lot now, and they want to hear his songs where he talks shit to them. So I've liked Elias since NXT, and I'm glad to see that he's getting popularity. But it seems like they're gonna job him out as long as he's popular. Because Bobby Lashley, we have another call up. Lashley interrupts Elias's concert thingy, beats him up, holds him up in the air for like a long ass suplex, presents him to the crowd in that suplex, demonstrates his power, and then leaves. And the crowd gets a pop because we see Lashley, and we might see Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. Who knows? It's a match everyone's been wanting to see. I don't think we've ever had it. I don't believe I've ever seen it. Let's see. All right. So we get like a kind of a funny moment. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens show up in the backstage. And they ask Kurt Angle if he's got any jobs. And he's like, you know what? My tag team division's full. You should check TNA. But, they go on to this little spiel of how they want a job. And Kurt tells them that he has one spot open. But they have to face each other to see who wins. So they have a match later on to see who's going to get the spot, pretty much. So then we have Heath Slater and Rhino come out and kind of challenge anyone in the tag team division, and then which kind of, that's a premonition to a call up. Something's about to happen because they're setting you up. They're setting you up for the home run. They're teeing it up for you. So we have the Authors of Pain music hit, and you kind of expected it because they had a match at NXT versus the Undisputed, and I forgot who else. It was Authors of Pain, Undisputed, and Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong. So they were champions and they lost it to the Undisputed at a house show, I believe, or I don't know. It wasn't an aired show on the network until later. You know what had happened? They had won it and then it aired afterward. So everyone kind of knew, and then when it happened, it was during the holidays as well. No one kind of knew. So no one really paid attention. I don't believe. I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention at the time. But it kind of went under the radar that Undisputed won the titles. Authors of Pain get another shot. They've had their shot before, but this is another shot they've had, and they just haven't seemed to been able to win it back just because it's been a couple of triple threat matches that they've been thrown into in order to try to win back their titles. They haven't been successful, and after seeing them lose at New Orleans TakeOver, you kind of suspected that they were going to be called up. And they're going to be a devastating tag team on the main roster. I don't know how you kept the titles off of them that long on NXT. Those two guys are monsters. I think it's Razor and I forget the other guy's name, Tokar. I might just be taking that from the Ninja Turtles. The snapping turtle and the fucking wolf that they turn all huge and Turtles 2, Return of the Ooze. I don't know if you guys remember that shit. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, but I think their names are Tokar and Razor. Something very similar. But I don't think it was from the beginning. I think it might have been from the beginning. They've had the manager Paul Ellering, which was an old school manager for shit. I should know this. It was the Road Warriors. Pretty sure. I could be wrong. But he was an old school. No, he was for Animal and Hawk. I get those two confused just because they're not from my era. Yeah, but he was the manager for them. He was present for the first ever War Games match, and then he was present with Authors of Pain in their NXT War Games match, and he's been with them in their whole journey to win the titles. He's been with them, instructing them just because they seem to be just some kind of raw power that came in, like two huge guys. So he came in and kind of molded them and taught them because he's always been a good manager since the beginning. If you go back and watch old school WCW before the NWO, like 93, probably even earlier, 92, you'll see him there a lot more. He's a lot older now, but he's their manager. I think he's got a daughter as well in NXT. But they're leaving after their smashing of Rhino and Slater. They smash those two guys, and then they take off. And they kind of just look back and kind of just walk past them, Paul, their manager. And they kind of just like brush him off like, we don't need you anymore. And then he kind of confronts him in the back, and they just say that they don't need him anymore, pretty much. I forget exactly what they say. I'm paraphrasing it. But they kind of just point to the fact that they don't need him anymore, that they've pretty much made it to the top. So why do they need him anymore? Kind of like establishing themselves a little bit more as a heel tag team than anything else. Just because they are popular. They did come in smashing these guys. But now you have them dumping their manager, a very popular manager, an old school manager that anyone would be very happy to have. So, Authors of Pain, they're gonna make an impact on Raw. Roman Reigns comes out all fucked up from getting cut by Brock Lesnar. Let me know what you guys think about that Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns match at WrestleMania. And was it a work? Was Roman supposed to win, and they did change the match while it was going on because Roman didn't get the pop that they wanted? That's the rumor I'm hearing. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think it went down like it was planned, or do you guys think they switched it last minute because they were having second guesses? What do you guys think about that gash too? About Brock gashing this guy open with a badass elbow? Drop your comments in the page. Drop them on Twitter. Yeah, so he's out there not interrupting. He's out there complaining. Not really complaining. Kind of just out there like saying that he got his ass beat pretty much by Brock. You know, Roman being Roman, I'm not going to stop or whatever. But he gets interrupted by Samoa Joe. So we get a lot of returns and some cool call-ups. So this Raw did not let down at all. He tells Roman Reigns that he's going to put him in the Cohiba clutch or something like that after Brock's done with him. So we might get a feud between Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns, Samoan versus Samoan. So that'll be good. I want to see that. I'm down for that. I wonder what Brock's going to do. He's going to eventually have to drop the title, probably to Braun, or I don't know. I don't know what Brock would drop it to now that, well, he could drop it to anybody, you know, but maybe he just wanted to keep it at Mania. We'll see. We'll see with that. Nothing really came of that. They kind of just left that alone. Samoa just kind of leaves. Samoa Joe. Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt versus Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews. Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt take the victory in advance. I'm pretty sure this was a qualifying match to advance into the tournament for the tag team titles. So we have broken Bray Wyatt now, which I'm glad that they made something of the storyline and they just weren't doing like weird vignettes with these two. I'm glad the vignettes led up to something. I was tired of the vignettes. I wanted them to lead into something, and it did. So we have broken Matt Hardy, or woken Matt Hardy, and woken Bray Wyatt. I don't know if they're calling him that, or woken Bray Wyatt. But they win, and Jeff talks to Matt, and then hugs Bray. They kind of all are just cool with each other, so we might have like a little faction there. That'd be kind of cool. Sorry, everybody, taking a hit. For the people not on YouTube. God damn. Then we have the Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn match to see who gets the spot on SmackDown. And it's a double count out, so no one gets pretty much no one gets the spot. Something's gonna happen during the shakeup. I don't even think I mentioned the funny part. Did I? I'm ripped. I don't know. So when they came in, I'm gonna repeat it. If I didn't, sorry. I don't think I did. I might have just skipped over it. Maybe I did. So when they came into Kurt's office to ask for their job, he's like, I probably did. Did I? Let me know if I did or not in the comments. Drop me a comment, everybody, on Twitter or on the group. So when they came in and asked for a job, he's like, you know what? My roster's full. TNA's looking. I probably did tell this joke. But it was funny. Because TNA's, slacking right now. And EC3 just called up. They just got Lashley. So it's kind of like a rib to... It's kind of like a rib to them. Like, ha ha ha. We got your talent. You guys should go to them. Psych. They're not letting go of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. What are you, fucking crazy? You're crazy? You crazy for this one? And then, let's see. Then we had the main event. We had the Miztourage versus Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and Jeff Hardy. And we have the Miztourage getting jobbed out, getting beat. And then you have, what was it? It was Finn hitting the coup de grace, Jeff hitting the swanton, and Seth hitting the curb stomp. They did it on Miz and they did it on Curtis Axel. I forgot who took the pin, but they did that twice. They might have even done it more. But it was an awesome display of acrobatics and curb stompings. And that brought Raw to an end. There was a weird 6-man tag. Not weird, but it was weird that a 6-man tag match ended Raw. And then, let's see. On Tuesday, we didn't get as much as we did on Raw. I know Raw's 3 hours, but SmackDown didn't have like a ton of call-ups. We had some good announcements, though. So Shane McMahon started off the night by declaring that Daniel Bryan is now a in-ring competitor, so now he needs a new general manager to SmackDown, to SmackDown, and he announces Paige, which I forgot to announce. I wrote it down. On Raw, Paige announced her retirement in a very emotional moment. She came out and said, as a lot of you guys know, she received a neck injury that she can no longer wrestle, and she was retired, and she left her, I think it was her shoes and her shirt, like her Paige logo in the ring, and she danced off. She pranced off like she usually does. Said it was her house. Had a crazy reaction from the crowd. She's young as fuck, man. She's like 27, younger, around there. She was NXT champion, and then she won the championship on WrestleMania, I think. Something crazy from AJ Lee. But she's a real good competitor. She was a good performer. Sucks to see that she's out. It's good to see that she's in a spot as general manager. She gets to advance her career. At least in that. At least she gets paid in that, you know. She can, and she doesn't have to take any more bumps. But, yeah, so we got Paige as general manager, SmackDown, and now we got fucking Daniel Bryan as the in-ring performer now. The Usos take on the New Day to see who's going to challenge the Bludgeon Brothers for the SmackDown Championship at the Greatest Royal Rumble. The Usos defeat the New Day. So we're going to have a match between the Bludgeon Brothers and the Usos. It's weird because the Bludgeon Brothers destroyed these tag teams. They had a really short match at WrestleMania. And the Bludgeon Brothers captured the titles. And they had been building up the Bludgeon Brothers really strong. So we'll see how the Usos are going to fare against these two guys. Because they're coming out with cool gear, cool music. And they're really good performers. They're really good wrestlers. Rowan and Harper were really good in the Wyatt family as well. And now they're getting a little bit of shine by themselves. Even though they were kind of a tag team. But now they don't have a leader. So we'll see where that goes. Onward. Naomi defeats Natalya in just kind of a regular match between the both of them. Naomi winning the Women's Battle Royal. Then she goes and hugs her trophy. That was about it. We had Charlotte Flair come out to kind of celebrate her victory over Asuka and show her respect for Asuka. And then we have a call-up from NXT. If you guys don't watch NXT, they called up Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, which is the iconic duo. They've been morphing that name. I think they've been playing around with it. Now it's the Iconics, now that they're on SmackDown Live. So they're the Iconics. Peyton Royce is really hot. Billie Kay as well. I think Peyton Royce is probably the hotter one and the better in-ring performer. She does get the better opportunities. That might be it, but I think it's because she's a better performer as well. But it's nice to see a women's tag team start up and come up to the main roster together. So they attack Charlotte Flair. They beat the fuck out of Charlotte Flair. Powerbomb her on the outside. Try to put her through a table. Did they? Might have made that up. Yeah, so they beat the fuck out of her. I think Billie Kay hits her move. Shades of Kay. And then they leave. Then Carmella runs out. And proceeds to cash in her Money in the Bank title. Their case. I think it could have been executed a little bit better. She's giving it to the ref. And she's like pleading with him. Like, come on, come on. And the ref was like, are you sure? Are you sure? And he does it for a while. I don't think they did that right. I think she should have come out and cashed it in right away. The bell should have rang. Charlotte should have got up, hit with the boot, and won. Carmella should have won. She did win, but, it was just awkwardly done. She was pleading with the ref to get up. Or to cash it in, check it out if you guys haven't. But she cashes in her Women's Money in the Bank Championship and wins. Successfully does it. Celebrates for a little bit. It's her first major title. She did not win a title at NXT. I think she's dating Big Cass too. But nonetheless, she did not win a title at NXT. She's now the SmackDown Women's Champion. And we'll see where that goes because now we're either going to get a feud between Charlotte Flair and the Iconics or Charlotte Flair and Carmella. I'm hoping Carmella somehow joins the Iconics because of this. And maybe that's why they changed it from the Iconic Duo to the Iconics, because now they're starting to form more women's factions, and I think this is going to lead into women's tag team championships. I know a lot of people are against championships, adding of more, but the women deserve tag team championships. I think the Mae Young Classic showed that they have enough talent from everywhere to establish a very strong women's division with tag team championships. I don't know about two. And I think even having... I think you could merge the women's... Well, if you were to... You could bring up a lot more women. Who knows? I don't think they're ready yet. You know, there's a lot of women that aren't ready for the main stage, and maybe they've only brought up the women that are ready for the main stage. Right now, I think it's a little thin to have two titles, but I think eventually it's going to have to happen where they have two titles, like SmackDown and Raw. And eventually they're going to have to add tag team titles for the women's division. That's just what I think. I don't know if they'll do it. We'll see. But, yeah. So if you guys are keeping up for the Money in the Bank title cash-ins this year, because we're going to have another one in June. Carmella successfully cashed it in. Baron Corbin unsuccessfully cashed it in due to John Cena. All right, next match was Randy Orton versus Bobby Roode versus Rusev to see who challenges Jinder Mahal at Backlash for the WWE United States Championship. Everyone wanted Rusev to win. He didn't win. Randy Orton hit the RKO, I think, on Bobby Roode and got the 3 count. So now he's going to face Jinder Mahal, and this weird feud between them continues from the WWE Championship to the United States Championship now. A little side note on Rusev. It was announced that Taker was going to take on the Undertaker was going to face Jinder Mahal in a casket match at the Greatest Royal Rumble. As of recently, Jinder Mahal has been scratched from that match, and Jericho has been added to it. And a lot of weird stuff has been going on Jinder's Twitter. Like, not weird, but just like, I think he changed his name to his regular name. I think he got rid of his WWE tags. He got rid of some WWE stuff. And I think there was a cryptic message that he had tweeted. I'm not sure. I'm going to look more into it just because I like Rusev and I want to know what's going on. I'm hoping they didn't fire him, but it's not looking good if they took him off the Taker match and he's not winning, especially how over with the crowd he is. But, you know, what are you going to do? I forgot to mention that Paige's first move as general manager was to set up AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan. So that was pretty awesome. But we had Shinsuke Nakamura come in and interfere and knee Daniel Bryan in the head and then hit AJ Styles with the Kinshasa and then hit him with 2 low blows. So I'm liking this heel Shinsuke. If you guys didn't watch, we had a glimpse at the backstage where they interviewed Shinsuke Nakamura. And they asked, Renee asked him why he did what he did to AJ Styles. And he just responded that he got emotional or something. And then she asked him if he can get an unsarcastic response because he winked at her as he was saying it. And then he's like, "Me no speak English." And then he fucking left. So I'm excited to see this Nakamura. It's a cool heel Nakamura. It's a different take on Nakamura. I've seen him since NXT, so I've seen him face for a little bit now. It's nice to see him take a different take, and they might even put the title on him, or they might move him from shows. I don't know. That was the end of SmackDown. We had him ruin Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. It might set up AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura versus Daniel Bryan for the WWE SmackDown title at Backlash. Depending on how the shakeup goes, we'll see on SmackDown because everything should be determined already. We'll know what we know on Tuesday. Let me know what you guys think about this week's show, Raw and SmackDown. I think they had a lot of good call-ups on Raw as well as on SmackDown. Raw definitely had the bigger stick. I don't know if that analogy works. The bigger end of the stick. They had the better call-ups. They had the better show this week. It is the one after WrestleMania, so they should have had the better show. They have more time. They have more call-ups. They had more comebacks from people that were injured. They took good advantage of their time this week. Of their 3 hours. SmackDown took, advantage of its 2 hours, but they just didn't get the same. They just didn't get the call-ups and shit like that. And NXT was kind of just a recap / the matches that were not aired on aired on the New Orleans card. So what pretty much winds up happening is if you go to the NXT event, they give you a full show just like if it were to be a regular pay-per-view, which would be 3 hours, or a regular Raw, or a SmackDown, which they add 205 Live to afterwards. So they give you 3 hours at an NXT show, but they don't air one of the hours, and they save one of those hours for the upcoming week, and they chop together a show and that's what we get the Wednesday after, pretty much the fallout after NXT New Orleans, even though it's the same night. So we had Kairi Sane versus Lacey Evans. Kairi Sane, I thought it was weird that she wasn't on the pay-per-view, but now it makes sense. She was on the pay-per-view. We just didn't see it. We see it next week. She takes on Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans is the All-American girl. Blonde chick, Marine chick, super hot, big tits, nice ass. She's hot as fuck. Good wrestler. Kairi Sane, tiny little cute Japanese girl. Good wrestler. Super good wrestler. And, forgot who won. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Kairi Sane won. Wow, she had to have. Yeah. Kairi Sane hits her badass elbow. Takes the victory. Yeah, see, I told you it's like a recap show. Then they have like a recap of the North American Championship match, which definitely deserves a recap, but definitely deserves for you to go watch it. It's a badass match. And then they show footage of Roderick Strong joining the Undisputed. Let's see, anything else interesting happen on fucking NXT? They talk to the Undisputed with newly added Roderick Strong. I'm interested to see where that goes because he first denied him joining the Undisputed, and then all of a sudden he joined the Undisputed. Kind of weird. I don't know. Yeah. Highlights from Shayna Baszler winning against Ember Moon. Nothing really. Except the matches that we didn't get to see. We got Heavy Machinery versus Tito Samboli and Roderick Moss. Yeah. It wasn't too great of an NXT. They definitely do a lot better job with the Raw after Mania and the SmackDown after Mania. I hope they work on the. I hope they work on the NXT after Mania for the next year. But definitely a busy week in wrestling. A busy week in MMA. Not really busy week in MMA, but it was a good card. Great shows for NXT on Saturday, WrestleMania on Sunday, Raw on Monday, SmackDown on Tuesday. NXT kind of sucked on Wednesday, I'm not gonna lie. So, awesome week of wrestling. I had a blast watching it. I had a blast talking about it. So go ahead and drop your comments in the group. Shoot me a Twitter message. Shoot me your thoughts. Let me know what you guys think about this episode. Let me know what you guys think about Raw and SmackDown. Grade them. Let me know if you thought which one was better. If you thought NXT was better. Let me know what you thought of WrestleMania. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you're thinking. Rate, review. Give me a 5-star rating. Leave a badass review. Really helps out the show. I really appreciate it. Really gives me joy in my loins for some reason. But, yeah. Do all that good stuff. I love you guys forever. And, yeah. Thanks a lot for joining me today. And thanks a lot for being part of the Fight Club. Part of the Full Heel Podcast Fight Club. I'll see you guys next time. I'm Donkeytron. Peace.